Community, Season 2, Episode 14, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. This was one of the show's best received episodes, originally airing on February 3rd, 2011. It centers around a depressed student named Neil, who befriends the main cast. To cheer him up, they play a game of Dungeons & Dragons, though decline to invite Pierce due to his abrasive nature. He finds out and joins them, strictly to ruin the game any chance he can. Despite its high ratings, the episode was banned from streaming services in June of 2020 due to a scene where Ken Jeong's character is wearing face paint resembling blackface.
I am Brutalitops, the magician. Magic user, baby, what?
An arrow flies through the air, almost hitting Brutalitops.
He's actually dressed up as a dark elf, but there's a joke where Pierce, played by Chevy Chase, refers to it as blackface.
I take the Duquesne sword from the naked man.
I attack him! I attack Blackface!
It's a critical hit.
What?
You've decapitated him. Brutalitops is dead.
What? No!
Honestly, surprised Chevy wasn't the one in blackface, not gonna lie. He would have gladly obliged. This ban came at the wake of two other shows getting episodes banned for similar reasons, Scrubs and 30 Rock. All were in response to the increased attention Black Lives Matter was receiving, though many were unhappy with the bans. Yvette Nicole Brown, who plays Shirley on Community, spoke out against the episode's removal by stating, "It was not Ken Jeong in blackface, and I think anyone that understood Dungeons & Dragons would have understood the distinction. Also, there's a moment in the episode where Shirley in the episode literally calls what Chang is doing a hate crime, because it shows that Shirley didn't understand Dungeons & Dragons, so it had been handled." It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Season 6, Episode 9, D. Reynolds, Shaping America's Youth. Airing only a few months earlier in November 2010, this Always Sunny episode was also banned in 2020 due to alleged racial insensitivities, though this time it's more blatantly blackface. The episode begins with Charlie and Dee working at the local high school. Charlie is mentoring a student juggalo, and Dee wants to impress her students by taking them to Broadway. The principal doesn't allow it since she's only a substitute, so she takes him to the pub to watch a film instead. This film was a reshoot of Lethal Weapon 5, made by the rest of the gang, including Charlie. Throughout the episode, they're seen discussing it, questioning if they should do blackface or not.
A lot of great actors have done blackface.
There's countless examples of very classy actors doing blackface. Let's see, we've got the great C. Thomas Howell in Soul Man. We've got the Wayans brothers in White Chicks. That was a very tasteful example of reverse blackface.
There's also a moment where they argue if speaking like a stereotypical black man is okay or not.
I guarantee you there were some black people that were working on that movie that were like, hey, man, what that white man doing? Come on, that ain't right. Get a black man.
Okay, so hold on.
What kind of voice
You're
is
doing
that?
a black voice and that's not racist?
I'm just saying that's how black people talk. That's not racist.
The screening is very awkward as you'd expect, showing Frank having sex dressed as a Native American mafioso. The climax shows Mac in blackface, meant to parody Shane Black's character from Lethal Weapon.
You're supposed to be a noble people. I'm tired of this conversation. Do you have any last words? Yeah, I got some last words. Go suck an egg.
And the icing on the cake, the episode ends with the Juggalo kid also in blackface, during the scene where Charlie and Dee are fired. The episode was banned alongside others such as America's Next Top Patty's Billboard Model Contest, D-Day, and The Gang Recycles Our Trash, due to the use of edgy, race-based humor. Shake It Up, Season 1, Episode 7, Party It Up. Switching gears a bit is a family-friendly sitcom airing on Disney Channel in the early 2010s. Shake It Up stars Bella Thorne and Zendaya as backup dancers on a local TV show who get up to misadventures. In the 7th episode of the series, their characters, Cece and Rocky, are invited to a house party by their friend, Gary. However, after sneaking out to get there, Gary reveals he invited them to be waiters instead. During this party, a supermodel character makes a quip alluding to anorexia.
You're adorable. I could just eat you guys up. You know, if I ate.
What's so funny?
On December 23, 2011, an entire year after the episode aired, Disney Channel alumni Demi Lovato tweeted, "Eating disorders are nothing to joke about, Disney." Another Twitter user then showed how a similar joke was made in the Disney Channel show So Random.
Angus only eats one full meal a week. Ask him, why?
Actually, I don't want
My agent's always on me about licking my beast.
He says to me, Angie, if you eat too many carbs, you won't get the G-orbs. And I said, I know.
You said what now?
Disney themselves then responded on Twitter, writing, "We hear you, and are pulling both episodes as quickly as possible, and reevaluating them. It's never our intention to make light of eating disorders. Both episodes were temporarily taken off air, though began airing as reruns, with the offending jokes completely cut out." Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Season 4 Episode 19, Insane in the Membrane. The 2003 iteration of TMNT had an episode so disturbing that it was banned from airing in America. Insane in the Membrane follows the villain Baxter Stockman as he attempts to build a new body for himself, a human body. He's warned by Agent Bishop that this won't work, as his other attempts of cloning his body have failed. He goes through with it anyways, placing his brain in a jar and transferring his consciousness into a cloned body. It seemingly works, though it starts to deteriorate.
No! What's happening to me?
Full on, just gross out horror in a kid's show, which is something I can appreciate. It's very ballsy.
This experiment is a catastrophe!
Stockman tries to figure out what's going on, why this is happening. He concludes this must be because of April O'Neil and kidnaps her. This results in a battle where the Turtles rescue April alongside Casey Jones, leading to Stockman seemingly falling to his death, though his brain is later recovered by Bishop. While the episode did air in the UK, Australia, and a few other countries, it was banned in America due to its disturbing content. The 2003 iteration aired on 4Kids, a channel known for its ridiculous amount of censorship. I mean, this is the channel that censored out rice balls for donuts, cause I guess kids can't grasp the concept of foreign foods. Series producer Lloyd Goldfine would soon write, "The final edited and mixed version of the notorious Insane in the Membrane was deemed unsuitable for air by Fox broadcast standards and practices. Apparently, in between the time the episode is written, storyboarded, animated, and edited, all stages approved by Fox BSMP, and the time the show is mixed for air, there was a change of personnel in the Fox BSMP offices, and no one involved in the original approvals was still employed at Fox. Upon seeing the episode, they were said to be horrified, and that there was no way they could air the episode. I'm not sure I disagree with them. Had there been BSMP comments earlier in the process, we certainly would have handled the show differently. But as it was approved at every stage, we went full steam ahead. In the end, I was told it was bad judgment on my part. So there you have it. I believe this episode will eventually be available, but plans have not been finalized. And the episode would eventually air in America, 9 years later on August 2nd, 2015, as part of a marathon on Nicktoons. Star Trek, Season 2, Episode 21, Patterns of Force. Unlike a lot of episodes on this list, this one wasn't banned in America, but instead in Germany. This classic Star Trek episode from September 1966 features the Starship Enterprise crew investigating the disappearance of a man on the planet Ecos. This planet is overrun by a fascist government meant to resemble the Nazis, clearly done as an allegory of the Second World War. These Nazis are at war with another planet called Xeon, meant to represent the Jewish people during the Holocaust.
When they've destroyed us here, they will attack our planet. They'll use the technology we gave them. The danger is that taking life is so repugnant to our people, I'm afraid we'll go down without a struggle.
It's all pretty blatant, with the use of Nazi slogans, flags with swastikas on them, the use of the Iron Cross, and talks of a final solution.
Gentlemen, this is for the record of the Fuhrer's final solution speech.
We're documenting the men responsible.
There's goddamn clips from the Triumph of the Will here. It's crazy. While the episode was well received, it was banned in Germany due to a law written 6 years prior. The law would make it illegal to incite hatred, to provoke violence, or to insult, ridicule, or defame parts of the population in a manner apt to breach the peace. Due to all the blatant imagery, the episode was banned on German television for almost 30 years. It would finally be unbanned in 1995, when it was shown through the original English audio featuring German subtitles. Batman, the Brave and the Bold, Season 2, Episode 17, The Mask of Matches Malone. This episode features Batman teaming up with the Birds of Prey, which consists of Catwoman, Huntress, and Black Canary. They have a fight with Two-Face over a cloak that grants the wearer 9 lives. Batman gets knocked out and suffers from amnesia, believing himself to be a mafioso named Matches Malone. This cloak makes him the greatest criminal in Gotham, so it's up to the Birds of Prey to bring Batman back. This all culminates in the musical number Birds of Prey, which is essentially about how Batman is the sex king of the Justice League. No, I'm not kidding. I won't play the full song for copyright reasons, but I'll read some of the lyrics. Green Lantern has his special ring. Pretty strong, that little thing. Flash's foes, they finish last. Too bad sometimes he's just too fast. Green Arrow has heroic traits. That is when he's shooting straight. Aquaman's always courageous. His little fish, less outrageous. Plastic Man can't expand, becomes putty in her hands. The birds then sing about Batman, essentially saying they want his Batcock. Batman throws his Batarang, what a weapon, what a thing. Check out that utility belt, sure can make a girl's heart melt. He's always right there for the save, I like to see his secret cave. In all honesty, this song is great. It's subtle enough, but still pushes the boundaries of what you can get away with in a Cartoon Network show. Though Matches Malone is not fully impressed, still trying to have them killed.
You know how I like my birds, plucked and caged.
The episode was seemingly banned off Cartoon Network, though it was released on iTunes a year later, with various changes made to the scene. It was also removed from the Season 2 DVD, though it was included as a bonus feature on the Season 3 DVD. South Park, Season 9, Episode 12, Trapped in the Closet. Easily one of the most controversial episodes of the series, it centers around Stan being tricked into joining the Church of Scientology. Its members gaslight him into believing he's depressed, and have his thetan levels measured using an E-machine. His readings are high, leading to the belief that Stan is the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. Its leaders show up to Stan's house, begging him to write a new scripture. In order to do this, Stan is told the story of Xenu, which most Scientology members are not supposed to know. This bit is great, with text on screen reading, "This is what Scientologists actually believe." Stan believes this, until being told the painful truth.
Wait a minute, whoa, you don't actually believe this crap, do you? Dummy! Brainwashed alien souls? E-meters and thetan levels? Those people out there buy that crap, but I thought you were smart enough to see what was really going on!
This episode gets its name from the side plot. Tom Cruise, a proud Scientology member, asks Stan if he's a great actor or not. He says no, causing Tom to lock himself in his closet out of sorrow. Throughout, multiple friends of his try to cheer him up, with both John Travolta and R. Kelly joining him.
I've been asked to come up here, get you both out of the closet. Man, this is some crazy shit. Why won't you both just come out the closet? And they said, we're not coming out the closet.
The episode ends with Stan revealing the falsehoods of Scientology, with him being immediately discredited. Oh, and multiple people threaten to sue him.
You can't make fun of Scientology, kid. We are gonna sue your ass and your balls.
Yeah, that's right! How dare you mock our faith, you little punk! You'll be hearing from our lawyers tomorrow!
And this would indeed happen in real life, with the creators of South Park, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, being threatened with a potential lawsuit by the church. This never happened, and a potential CNN interview regarding this was cancelled. Though there were other controversies, like the departure of Isaac Hayes from the show, who voices Chef. Hayes is a member of the Church of Scientology, and found the episode to be greatly offensive. He said, quote, "There's a place in the world for satire, but there is a time when satire ends and intolerance and bigotry towards religious beliefs of others begins. Religious beliefs are sacred to people, and at all times should be respected and honored. As a civil rights activist for the past 40 years, I cannot support a show that disrespects those beliefs and practices." Though what led to the episode being temporarily banned was an incident known as Closetgate. Tom Cruise's people weren't happy with the episode, mainly the fact that it spread rumors of Cruise being gay. In March 2006, the episode was planned to be rebroadcasted, though Viacom cancelled it. under threats that Cruise would cancel his publicity tour for Mission Impossible 3. Those movies are distributed by Viacom, who also own Comedy Central. South Park fans then threatened to boycott the new movie, uploading the episode onto various different websites. This fan outrage led to Comedy Central eventually allowing further reruns, and the episode was even nominated for an Emmy. X-Files Season 4 Episode 2, Home. This episode is noteworthy due to its highly graphic nature, even for a show like The X-Files. It centers around Fox and Dana investigating the supposed murder of an infant. This infant was buried alive, with the main suspects being the Peacock brothers. These brothers, along with the corpse, are deformed, signaling that they're inbred. The question is, why doesn't there seem to be any female family members in their household? Well, that's because these brothers have been holding their mom hostage underneath a bed, and is the mother of the infant. This mother of theirs is believed to be dead from a car crash, but survived and had all of her limbs amputated. During the final confrontation, 2 of the Peacock brothers are killed, but in the final disturbing revelation, the final brother kidnapped their mother to start a new family somewhere else. The episode is banned by Fox after its initial airing, only to be rebroadcasted 3 years later for Halloween. This was atypical for the show's schedule, mind you. This ban was due to the violent nature of the episode, along with the themes of incest. It was later given a viewer discretion advised warning, and made the first episode to be given a TVMA rating after the inception of the TV parenting guidelines at the end of 1996. Seriously Dude, I'm Gay, full series. This show not only had all of its episodes banned, but this ban led to it never airing in the first place. Seriously Dude, I'm Gay is a reality show where 2 men compete against each other to see who can act the most gay. They'd have to tell all their friends and family that they were homosexual, fully convincing them the best they can. At the end of a week, the 2 men would be judged by actual gay guys, with the most convincing being given a $50,000 cash prize. The show produced 4 episodes, and was meant to air on Fox in June of 2004, but before it was supposed to be released, it would attract controversy. The Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, aka GLAAD, deemed the show too offensive after being shown the pilot episode. GLAAD described it as an exercise of systematic humiliation, saying the 2 contestants deemed the challenge as being trapped in gay hell. There was also a moment in an episode where someone took a gay man on a blind date and had him spank him on the ass. Fox would cancel the show, citing creative issues, though also apologized for how deeply offensive the material was, though some disagreed, including many gay people who actually worked on the show. In fact, it was claimed by one of the contestants, Larry Anderson, that the show cured him of homophobia. Creative consultant Christian McLaughlin also noted that it's unfortunate that a group as well-intentioned as GLAAD is going to set themselves up as censors and judge what other people should be allowed to air or see. Our primary purpose was to be funny, but if people actually go to see the show, they would probably be more tolerant of gay people in the future. Million Dollar Extreme presents World Peace, full series. The comedy group, MDE, has been producing their comedy skits for YouTube since the late 2000s, finally getting their big break thanks to Adult Swim. Mike Lazo, the network executive, was incredibly supportive of the series, titled World Peace. A full 6-episode season was released by them in the summer of 2016. However, it was quickly cancelled, and the creators were pretty much blacklisted from Hollywood. Sam Hyde, the most attributing member of MDE, claimed this was due to journalists reaching out to Adult Swim concerning World Peace's offensive humor and Sam's online behavior. Sam would have an interview with one of these journalists, Joseph Bernstein, regarding an article the latter was writing for BuzzFeed. Sam pretty much spent the entire time trolling him.
Do you consider yourself a member of the alt-right?
Of Adult Night?
Of the alt-right.
What is the alt-right? Is that some sort of indie bookstore?
The real reason the show got cancelled was due to many higher-ups at Adult Swim personally not liking Sam, and thinking the show featured a variety of racial dog whistles, most notably the skit Jews Rock. I feel like many intentionally missed the joke here. It's an absurdist skit making fun of the concept of dog whistles. And also, a big appeal to the show was that the MDE crew were trying to sneak in as much edgy content into the show, and see what they can get away with. There's a lot of stuff that did get censored or removed, but that could honestly be a video for another day. Anyways, most seem to think Tim Heidecker was the main person responsible for the cancellation, though he denies it. Sam would actually confront him on a radio show several months later.
I've heard reliable people say that you were instrumental, that Judd Apatow went to talk to Adult Swim to ask for it to be pulled down. You've been supportive.
You know,
of
the
your
last
buddy,
time I talked. You know, the last time I talked to Judd Apatow was at the bridesmaids release party.
You've been supportive of your buddy Brett Gelman.
Yeah,
who has
exactly. The word buddy. The word buddy is key here. I'm supportive of whatever he wants to do. He said he doesn't want to work on the. He doesn't want to make shows for Adult Swim anymore. Not just because of your show, but because of their issues with women. And I've got my own thoughts about that.
You see, Tim himself didn't want the show cancelled. He actively supported people who wanted the show cancelled. Two totally different things. The show would officially be banned from Adult Swim on June 12, 2020, alongside a much older show called Minority. $1 Million Extreme would seemingly drift apart, but the group would revitalize their careers thanks to a certain cuck. A sequel series titled Extreme Peace just released this month, though of course it was made independently from Adult Swim. Heil, Honey, I'm Home pilot. Yes, this is indeed a sitcom about the daily life of Adolf Hitler. And no, this didn't air on somewhere like Adult Swim. This was prime time. It aired on the British TV channel Galaxy in September 1990, written by Jeff Atkinson. It stars Neil McCall as Adolf Hitler and Annika Fairman as Eva Braun, who for some reason live in a small apartment in Berlin. They're neighbors of the Goldsteins, who the Hitlers obviously hate. The first episode involves Adolf having to impress Neville Chamberlain during a small visit. The Goldsteins interfere, causing mayhem. The episode ends with Adolf agreeing to not invade other countries, which he's obviously lying about. Besides the absurd premise, the show just isn't really that funny, and it's not due to it being too offensive. In fact, it's not offensive enough.
What did I do now? Oh, tonight you were making schnitzel. What a jerk! You must be real mad at me, honey. I'm a very, very bad Hitler. Come here, baby.
Don't touch me.
If you're going to do a show starring Hitler, you have to make it more absurd. Hitler just comes across as too normal here, like an average guy the audience can relate to. The show is so focused on mocking sitcom tropes that it forgot about the subject matter at hand. Jeff Atkinson would later write, "If you have a monster like that and everyone says, you can't make fun of him, then we've made him even more of a monster. The slapsticky stuff made it dumb. It's not clever, it's not subtle, it's not smart, it's just dumb. What we wanted was satire. So basically, they should have made fun of Hitler more, like a lot of other shows and movies have done successfully. Heil, Honey, I'm Home would get cancelled due to the backlash, with many audience members finding it tasteless. 7 other complete episodes were to be made, but they all went unreleased and are now lost. Apparently, these other episodes would have centered around the Hitlers trying to secretly kill the Goldsteins. So basically, we missed out on hearing some unfunny, dry Holocaust jokes. Fear Factor, Season 7, Episode 9, Hee Haw Hee Haw. During the show's revival in 2011, an episode was deemed too disturbing to air on national TV. The episode featured a challenge where contestants would play a seemingly innocuous game of horseshoes, seeing who can throw them as close to a pole as possible, while the contestants who did the worst would have to drink a special concoction, a drink made out of urine and donkey sperm.
At Fear Factor, we serve 2 completely different kinds of refreshing beverages. Donkey semen and urine.
Oh my god. My favorite.
Who came up with the stunt? Joe Rogan himself?
So have you ever done DMT?
The stunt was so vile that apparently the cameramen themselves are puking. NBC were incredibly hesitant to release the episode, with the final straw being online reactions. In early 2012, various images from the Donkey Cum episode leaked online, causing it to be completely banned from airing in the United States. The episode wasn't lost for long though, as it did air on Danish TV in June 2012. Video footage would surface online, with Fear Factor themselves posting clips to the official YouTube channel in 2014. Joe himself would reflect on this episode in a 2023 episode of his podcast.
Did these people have to keep it down?
Yeah. No, they throw it up eventually. After they swallowed it, then they were allowed to throw up.
So somebody for this show had to jerk off donkeys.
They actually stick a cattle prod up their asshole and they shoot like a fire hose.
Well, at least someone doesn't have to jerk them off. That would be a shitty job.
Yeah, they do something where they stick it up his asshole and just yikes. Yeah.
Ugh,
I know.
That's gross.
It's
It
gross.
didn't. I gotta be honest though. Was it mixed with water? It seemed
No,
very
it was
liquidy.
thick. It was thick.
It seemed liquidy. I thought it'd be more like a milkshake consistency.
Yeah, then these guys are chucking.
Dude, This Sucks pilot. Meant as a reboot to The Gong Show, Dude, This Sucks never got to air due to a highly disturbing act performed on it. Its one and only episode was filmed on January 21st, 2000, and was meant to be distributed by MTV. It was pretty much a talent show, with two team captains choosing between various acts and performing with them. If the act fails to impress the three judges within 45 seconds, they will use a hammer to smash their podiums. The crowd will then loudly cheer, Dude, This Sucks. One of the acts was a duo known as the Shower Rangers. They entered the stage in scouting uniforms, pretending to sit by a campfire. They then unzipped their pants and started pissing all over the girls in the audience. Apparently, the performers had taken a powerful laxative in order to effectively do this. The problem, as you'd expect, is that these girls did not consent to being pissed on, and could not consent period since they were all teenagers. Because of this incident, two of the girls' parents sued the show a year later, citing infliction of emotional distress, negligence, and battery. One of these girls was quoted as saying, "We were having a good time until the second act of Dude, This Sucks went on. All of a sudden, I was smelling something disgusting, and I started to gag. I looked around at my friends. They were covered in something, and I looked down at myself and realized that I was too." The footage was archived by the network, but was obviously banned from airing, period, even if they cut that footage out. Hawaii Five-0, Season 2, Episode 16. Bored, She Hung Herself. The 1968 run of Hawaii Five-0 has ingrained itself heavily into pop culture, though its legacy is not perfect. One particular episode from January 1970 wasn't simply banned for showing inappropriate content, but for leading to someone's death. Yeah, I'm not kidding. In the episode, Detective Captain Steve McGarrett and his police task force investigate the death of a fitness guru's girlfriend. It's believed to be a suicide, though her father believes it was the boyfriend's doing. However, the boyfriend in question, Don, had an alibi. He spent the night at the beach. The investigation soon turns to if Don caused her to kill herself, as their relationship was quite volatile. The culprit ends up being their 13-year-old neighbor, who was secretly in love with her. The episode became notable due to the opening act, where Don pretends to hang himself using a secret trick. This quote-unquote yoga technique apparently led to a viewer wanting to try it themselves. This has been corroborated by quite a few sources, with an old fan site writing, "This episode has never been seen on TV since the original broadcast." According to the late Mrs. Rose Freeman, wife of the series creator Leonard, speaking to fans of the 1996 5-0 convention in Burbank, California, some viewers tried the hanging technique used by Dawn at the beginning of the show at home and died. This was confirmed by an email exchange I had 20 years later with Joel Berliner, who played Hank, the neighbor's son. He wrote to me, "Somewhere in America, someone hanged themselves after watching the show. Their parents sued CBS, and shelving the episode as part of the settlement. The episode wouldn't resurface until 2010, with a bootleg copy being spread around. I'll link it down below." Beavis and Butt-Head, Season 3, Episode 1, Comedians. Keeping up the last entry, this is seemingly yet another episode that resulted in real-life catastrophe. In Comedians, our two dim-witted protagonists decide to visit a comedy club, thinking this career path could make them rich. As you'd expect, this goes horribly.
What's green and red and goes 100 miles an hour? A frog in a blender. Get it?
Yeah.
The two end up chasing everybody out, and then stupidly decide to burn the whole place down.
We're pretty funny, huh, Beavis?
Yeah.
We should be on TV.
Only a month after this episode aired in October 1993, a 5-year-old boy from Moraine, Ohio did something similar to his home. Austin Messner burned his house down using a cigarette lighter, which resulted in the death of his 2-year-old sister. When asked why he did this, the mother explained that he was clearly inspired by Beavis and Butt-Head. However, Austin claimed 15 years later that, "I literally never saw the cartoon. It was 1993. My mom was a drug addict. We couldn't afford cable." Either way, this was terrible press for MTV and Viacom, who decided to censor the episode very heavily, to remove all references to fire. This show also had its time slot changed for much later in the night. MTV Senior Vice President, Carol Robinson, will later state that, "Beavis and Butt-Head is made for teenagers and young adults, who make up the overwhelming majority of its audience. These viewers see the cartoon for what it is, an exaggerated parody of two teenage misfits, whose antics take place in a cartoon world. Antics they know are obviously unacceptable, and not to be emulated in real life." The Great Satan at Large. This last show is created by Lou Porfidio, a very strange and perverted individual, who a friend described as a fat, bearded, farting, filthy-mouthed, passionate punk rocker who drank so much that in his 20s, he had the body of a 60-year-old. So basically, he was a Reddit user. He wrote a blog called I Love Misery, and was apparently a really good pinball player. In 1990, he decided to create a public access show for Tucson, Arizona's Channel 49. What did he decide to air on a Christian network? Well, a show called The Great Satan at Large. This was a call-in show meant to directly offend people, with Lou portraying himself as Lucifer. In the background, Lou would play obscene clips of, quote, chroma-keyed videos of Adolf Hitler, underage strippers, titty twisters and masturbating gestures, intercut of celluloid transgressions by Richard Kern and Nick Zed, glistering in the background like freshly slung wads of pixelated cum. The chain-smoking, beer-swilling Porfidio assaulted the viewer with every vile thought his unfiltered ID could extrude. So basically, this guy was a try-hard edgelord, like a Shadman type edgelord.
Has the great Satan taken a Vestal Virgin, laid her out on the table and fucked her yet? Yet?
On TV?
Yeah.
Not that I've seen.
No. I haven't done anything of the like. I have encouraged you to get fucked tonight, to drink, to drug, to booze, to do anything you fucking want to satisfy your sentient pleasure. Will you do that for me, caller?
That's normal.
All right. Hey, give me a Hail Satan, would you?
Hail Satan.
All right.
This show is pretty much just made to piss people off and see what he can get away with. Though it has no real humor besides the inherent absurdity. It somehow aired on a 6 p.m. time slot and was immediately pulled after its airing. Not only did it get banned, but it resulted in possible legal ramifications. Lou could have faced obscenity charges and the possibility of 40 years in prison, though he instead decided to flee Arizona. He'd eventually die at the age of 43, due to having pneumonia, a high blood pressure, and having flesh-eating bacteria inside him. His only legacy now is this show, which he's probably watching on loop in hell, as I'm sure that the real Satan isn't happy that this doofus is impersonating him.
You will never trespass against our rights. You will rot in hell, motherfuckers, or overcome. You lost. Holy One of Israel. You lost.